Hey, God bless you. And thank you for tuning in. Hey, my name is Pastor Stephen Tipton of the Alberto Church of God in Christ. And I'm here to talk to you about something that's very serious and very important. A lot of discussion has been centered around what we are endeavoring to improve the communication between city and church, the stop the tax and taking of our churches. It's a two-part. First, stop the taxing, and then also the taking. And so I want to talk to you and share with you the importance of the churches in our community. Pastor Lewis also that has been working with me and with us. We both understand the importance of the church in our community and understand that that has been attacked. But listen, I want you to understand something. The churches offer so much beyond what really people understand and see. See, it's the churches that have the warming stations when it's below zero in Milwaukee, collecting coats and shoes and clothes. Computer labs. Did I mention that? Computer labs that teaches Microsoft information with computers, as well as the literacy programs teach how to read, GED programs, English programs, mental health, anger management classes, bereavement and loss classes. The list just continue to go on, and not only being a resource and an oasis of comfort with what we're seeing happening in our city with the murder rate is higher than it ever been. The reckless driving, people are losing their lives due to reckless driving. When you see all of that, these people that lose their lives, their family want them to be comforted and they want to give them a funeral. And so all of this is extremely important. All of this is necessary. And guess what? It's the church that is there, the first responders to a lot of this um, tragedy and pain that our community is feeling. And so we're not just down at City Hall and we're not just going to meetings because we have nothing better to do. We understand the ripple effect that when churches are taxed and when they're taken. When they're taxed, you're taking money that is designated to be used for ministry. Church is nonprofit. It's protected by the Constitution, First Amendment. We can't do a IPO, initial public offering to raise stock. We don't do that. Our ministry and our work is based upon the generosity of people's hearts and their giving and the donations. And we make what we make happen by that. And so when you tax, you're taking valuable resources out of churches. And then when you, after you tax and the church cannot pay that, now you take the church. And so let's look at that real quick. You take a important structure, a resource, a loving place, an educating place, an empowering place out of the community. It's now closed. It's now gone. No after school programs, no feeding, no food pantry. It's gone. It's shut down. What is the city going to do with that? And so please understand what we're standing for and what we are saying that must stop. The tax and taking of churches it has a ripple effect that will destroy the community. So I want you to be on board. I want you to help us and stand with us that our churches will continue to prosper and grow and be a blessing and be that resource in the community that is needed. Pastor Lewis, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. And, I just want people to think about, what's happening here. If you start to rebuild communities, we definitely have to start in our church community because that's the only sanctuary, that's the only planning place, that we have. We don't have businesses, we don't have homes, but we still have the church. And as much as, some folks don't want to agree with me, you have to admit that that's a reality.
Yes.
That, we certainly have churches. And, if you start to tax churches, that's the beginning of the destruction of the church. Because a lot of people think that the church is someplace where people have a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. That's just a fallacy. There are some successful pastors and churches and ministries that do probably, exceed the amount of income that regular churches have combined. But, in reality, most of these pastors are paying their bills out of their own money. They're paying their bills out of jobs they work. They're paying their bills out of Social Security. They're paying their bills out of their retirement funds because they're dedicated to helping community. And a lot of times the, society comes to the church. They don't never come to the church with anything in their hands. They come to the church with empty hands, asking the church to contribute to their hands. And when we start talking about saving churches, we're just talking about saving communities. Because if there were no churches in our community, just think what this would all be. Man, this would be a mess if we didn't have some people talking about the goodness of God. If we didn't have some people talking about building families. If we didn't have some people talking about economic development. If we didn't have some people talking about education. If we didn't have some people talking about the crime and incarceration. If we didn't have some people talking about some of the things that are so meaningful in our society and doing something about it, that's another thing. It's a lot of folks, always ask the question, what is the church doing? Well, you know what? I think you need to come to church so you can find out. You don't know what the church is doing because you're not there. I can tell you this. We have done massive amounts of work. Who was there when we asked the city to give 100 million? Well, we asked for 200 million, but that was just out of the question. 200 million and put it in a trust fund so we can build it up to 2 billion, so we can build up 35,000 low-income housing units and 9,000 single-family units. And who was there when we changed the landscape of this whole political system? Man, we turned Wisconsin into a blue state, the church, and there is a new governor because of the church here in Milwaukee. Now, am I saying that we are Democrat or Republican? No, I'm just saying that we gave people the option to get out and vote, and people had their voices heard, and things changed. This is the church. And now we're going to be at the City Hall on Tuesday, the 14th, and the Common Council is meeting. We weren't invited, but we're going to be there because we want the Common Council to understand that the church is being done wrong, and we need their help. We can't do it without you, Milwaukee, City of Milwaukee Common Council. We're coming to ask for your help. We want you to stop this taxing and taking of churches. We want to sit down and talk about how we can resolve this situation because we need to be working together. So we're going to be there on the 14th at 9 o'clock. The whole council is going to be there and meet. And we weren't invited, but we're going to be there with signs saying stop tax and take and help us stop this from happening to us and all those things. And we're the church. We're respectful. We are dignified and we have integrity. So we're not coming to talk about making a whole lot of trouble, but we're talking to be heard. We're coming so that you know that we're here. We're not just here for us, we're here for you also. And we've always been here for you. Every time you come to us, you ask us to do things and you never have anything to contribute to our work. We have to do everything voluntarily. And now look what's happening to us now. So we're coming to you for help on Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock. Right. But pastors, faith leaders, we want you to be there at 8:30. So we can have a full house by the time they come to have their meeting. So we're going to have a good time on Tuesday, just standing up for the church. So, Pastor, I don't know what you think about this, but I think that, we have to keep the pressure on, our city officials to make sure they understand that we're not stopping. We're not giving up. We're not going to let this go. You can't just disregard our tax exempt status just because you think is what you want to do. Man, that status has been given to us from the beginning of this country. And now we're going to make sure that you keep the standards that have been established from the beginning of this country. Absolutely. We didn't make the rules of the game. We just came to play it. So now we are asking you to understand one thing. When it's time for us to have satisfaction and an advantage, you can't cut the game and start making new rules. The rules are rules. We want you to stand by them. So we're going to be there on the 14th, and we're asking you to please hear us and understand us and help us. We don't want to fight, man. We want to work together, but we need to get this done.
That's right. We can get so much more done working together. And so we're not here to draw lines in the sand, but we are here to get an understanding on how, even if we can improve what is already there. And I think that if we come together, great things are going to come. And I'm excited about it, but we cannot stop. We're standing up for all churches,
for all of them,
all nonprofits. And we're standing with them saying that you are important. You are essential. You're needed. And you're not in this by yourself. We're working together. We're going to get through this, because when we work together, it only benefits the entire community, not just the church, not just City Hall, but all of us. And so that's our goal. We want you to be a part of it. If you don't understand, you can always ask questions. We're here for that. But our main purpose is that we work together so we can give relief to the pastors and the churches and the nonprofits that are doing great work, that ain't blowing their horn, but just doing it because they love the Lord and they love people. And we're gonna see this all the way through to the end. Thank you.
We're better together.
We're better together. We're better together. I agree. We're better together. We're saying that. We're better together. Great things are coming. Thank you.